Check 1 2. Hey, check 1. Check. Hey, hey 1. Hey 1. Check 1 2. Okay.
some joy upon my face. Oh, sunshine in an empty place. Take me to turn to, and babe, I'll make you stay. Oh, I can ease you of your pain. Feel you give me love again. Round and round we go. Each time I hear you say, this is the rhythm of the night, the night. I'd give it all away if you give me one last try. Will it happily ever trapped if you just save my life? Run and tell the angels everything's alright. And I'm looking for the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out right. I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of trying. Make my way back home when I learn to fly high. Sleep inside the eye of your mind.
Hello, morning, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Thank you for being here. We are waiting for the Secretary Matey. He's on his way from another meeting, so it's going to take another 10 minutes. So request all of you to be seated here patiently. If those of you who want to catch a cup of coffee or something, you can still do it. We've got another 10-15 minutes to go. Thank you so much.
Looking at all the things that
Check 1 2. Hey, check, check, check 1. Hey.
The IT secretary is already arrived here. Should be here on the stage in a few minutes. Thank you.
Before I see things the right way out. All that noise and all that sound, all those places I got from, and words go flying at the speed of sound to show you how it all began.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. A very warm welcome to all of you for this special event, the launch of the Digital Threat Report 2024 for the BFSI sector. This report is a collaboration between CISA, CERTIN and CERTFIN, and we are truly privileged and honored to have the Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, Shri S. Krishnan, as our chief guest, along with Joint Secretary and Economic Advisor in the Department of Financial Services, Government of India, Shri Dr. Abhijit Fukon, and Dr. Shri Sanjay Bail, Director General, CERTIN, for joining us today. May I request the dignitaries to begin the proceedings by lighting the lamp? So, if you can.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योति नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
Thank you, sirs. Without much further ado, I invite Mr. Darshan Shantamurthy, founder and CEO of CISA, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning. Honorable Shri Krishnan, Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Dr. Abhijit Fukon, Joint Secretary, Economic Advisor, Department of Financial Services, Dr. Sanjay Bail, Director General of CERT, distinguished leaders from government, industry, regulators, our friends from the media, and my colleagues from CISA. A very warm welcome to each one of you for this launch of the Digital Threat Report for the BFSI sector 2024, which is done in collaboration between CISA, CERTIN, and CCERT-FIN. India today stands as a global pioneer in digital payments, setting new benchmarks in banking, financial services, and insurance sector through bold and innovative initiatives. From UPI to digital public infrastructure, the world is just not learning from India, it is also watching us closely. At the heart of this remarkable digital transformation lies one powerful fundamental force, which is trust. This trust is underpinned by the strength and resilience of our cybersecurity posture as a country. I would like to express my gratitude to the Government of India, our regulators, standards bodies, industry leaders, and of course, all of you, the cybersecurity community, for your collective vision and collaborative effort, which has played a big role in building this strong ecosystem for a resilient and inclusive digital economy. Yet, as we know, cyber threats continue to evolve faster, smarter, and more complex by the day. As a global leader in BFSI, India today has both the responsibility as well as an opportunity in front of us to write the cybersecurity narrative for this sector across the world. It is with this mindset that we are honored to have partnered with CERTIN and CCERT-FIN to bring out the first of its kind digital threat report for BFSI. We are grateful to Government of India for its forward-looking approach in enabling this public-private partnership. At CISA, we have always believed in amplifying the Government of India's objective. One of the key things is to build cybersecurity solutions in India for our Atmanirbhar Bharat is also central to achieving our vision of our Honorable Prime Minister's Viksit Bharat by 2047. In today's deeply connected digital world, cybersecurity leadership is a national imperative. To advance this goal, we have always worked to advance this approach. We have launched a Cyber Nalanda project to do a first dedicated R&D campus. We have setting up a hardware security lab in order to promote and support the Indian manufacturing for cybersecurity, support from a hardware security campus. We've launched and also supported the first ANSI accredited cybersecurity for AI certification for the world as well. As cybersecurity is indispensable pillar of our national infrastructure, we believe such continued support and strategic collaboration with Government of India will be critical. We strongly foster that such mission should help cybersecurity companies go global and also become a standing force for not just Atmanirbhar Bharat, but also become a beacon of hope for cybersecurity across the world. To conclude, I would like to thank CERT and the entire team of CERTIN for their exceptional leadership, collaboration, and commitment to developing and also helping us with this pioneering report on the BFSI sector. With that, thank you all. Thank you for making it today, and truly excited to see all of you in such large numbers. Really appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Darshan. Before we get move ahead, I would request Mahendran to give a welcome bouquet to Sri Mr. Krishnan, Mr. Sachin, to Dr. Abhijit Fukan, and Ranju, to Dr. Sanjay Bail. And Mr. Ashok, please hand over the welcome bouquet to our CEO, Darshan. Thank you, gentlemen. Now may I request Dr. Sanjay Bail Director General Certain to address the gathering.
Good afternoon. Respected Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Joint Secretary and Economic Advisor, Department of Financial Services, Founder and CEO CISA, distinguished guests and friends from the media. It is a great pleasure to be here today at the launch of the Digital Threat Report 2024 for the banking, financial services and insurance, or the BFSI sector. It has been an intense 3 months of deliberations and distilling of the most relevant information in a public-private partnership for preparing this report by the Financial Computer Security Incident Response Team, or CCERT-FIN, Indian Computer Emergency Response Team CERT-IN and CISA. It should be noted that going digital has shifted the orbit for the BFSI sector from just being a provider of basic consumer services to being an enabler for different use cases. The rise of fintechs, changing regulatory landscape, demand for personalized services, and innovative use of technology are all converging to give rise to a new and innovative BFSI ecosystem. All this is not possible without having a sharp focus on cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is crucial for the sustainability of the evolving digital BFSI ecosystem. The threat landscape is rapidly evolving, with threat actors continuously refining their tactics, techniques, and procedures. Advanced threats, cyber attacks, and frauds can jeopardize confidence and trust in financial institutions and digital instruments, potentially leading to economic instability. The 5 Ds of fintech: digitization, disruption, democratization, decentralization, and data is the perfect storm and an inviting opportunity for malicious actors. Digital threats targeting fintech services are deemed as potent weapons of mass destruction. It is for this reason that the understanding of such a global financial ecosystem, its vulnerabilities, and related developments, current and future, are crucial in addressing security challenges and security of cyberspace at large. This is what has been attempted in the Digital Threat Report 2024 for the BFSI sector. Today, almost every business transaction has a digital component, and the use of digital technologies opens an organization up to new relationships with customers and business partners, as well as new business opportunities. To survive and thrive against the relentless wave of cyber threats, leaders such as you all need to develop resilience in your organizational structures, your processes, your people, and technology by ensuring the core principles of resilience, namely anticipate, withstand, recover, and evolve. Cybersecurity has clear overlap with social, technological, psychological, and economic domains of Internet. Ensuring cybersecurity is a complex journey requiring multifaceted approach of technical measures, policy development, user awareness, and international cooperation. Just to give you an idea about different ways that CERT-IN has been supporting the sector, and the CCERT-FIN has been supporting the sector, is by issuing alerts and advisories in a timely manner, best practices and guidelines, carrying out awareness campaigns. Just in the first 2 weeks of February, we reached out to about 80 crore citizens, providing free tools through the Cyber Swachhta Kendra, providing cybersecurity handbook, conducting mock drills and exercises, conducting audits, responsible vulnerability disclosure programs. CERT is also a CB numbering authority, providing cyber threat intelligence, looking at metadata from the National Cyber Coordination Center, looking at 24/7 help desk for incident response, containment, on-site as well as remote assistance. These are just to name a few of them. So cybersecurity is a critical enabler of transformation, innovation, growth, collaboration, partnerships, and resilience. Cybersecurity is not just about protecting individual entities, it's about securing an entire ecosystem. In today's hyper-connected world, threats evolve faster than ever, making collaborative intelligence sharing essential. This report is meant to empower financial institutions to stay ahead of advisories, adapt to emerging risks, and build long-term cyber resilience. Initiatives like these reinforce India's commitment to setting global benchmarks in financial cybersecurity, ensuring that as digital transactions grow, they remain secure, trusted, and resilient against future threats. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the entire team of CISA, the CSERT Fin, and others who have been involved in preparation of this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bell. May I now request the Joint Secretary and Economic Advisor in the Department of Financial Services, Government of India, Shri Dr. Abhijit Fukon, to address the gathering.
Secretary Mati, Sri S. Krishnan, dignitaries on the dais, colleagues from the BFSI sector, cybersecurity experts, media, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning. Secretary DFS was supposed to attend the event, but he has caught up with certain urgent meeting, and therefore I have landed up here. So before I speak, I will read out a message on behalf of Secretary DFS. His message is that cybersecurity is no longer an optional safeguard, but the foundation of financial stability in the digital age. As India's BFSI sector rapidly expands, securing digital transactions is not just a regulatory necessity, but an economic imperative. The Digital Threat Report 2024 for BFSI, as a collaborative effort between national security agencies and industry leaders, highlights the urgency of an integrated approach, one that unifies technology, regulatory compliance, and proactive threat intelligence. It serves as a strategic blueprint, equipping financial institutions with the intelligence needed to anticipate vulnerabilities, strengthen their defense, and build cyber resilience in an area of increasing sophisticated threats. With that message, as we all know that BFSI sector is one of the most highly tracked defense sectors globally. Therefore, BFSI sector is also one of the most vulnerable sectors in terms of cyber threats. A cyber threat maybe originated somewhere else, but it finally landed up and concluded in the financial sector, because every cyber threat, cyber attack is motivated with siphoning of money and necessary financial credentials of the citizens and the customers. So today, in an interconnected cyber world, it is essential not only to ensure that our digital infrastructure and the digital ecosystem are resilient, but also it is equally important to build trust of our customers, of our citizens, those who are onboarded into the digital ecosystem, to ensure continuity of various financial services to the citizens, besides ensuring the financial stability of the country. Today, we are not only accessing the financial services sitting at home or maybe remotely, but we have witnessed of late cross-border digital payments, remittances flow, trade financing, etc. Therefore, it is all the more essential to ensure that our cyber risk exposure are adequately placed to defend
any imminent threat from the cyber criminals. In the past, the government, along with the financial sector regulators, have been taking various initiatives, not only to create a conducive environment to strengthen the digital infrastructure, but also to ensure that our financial institutions are adequately well equipped to deal with any imminent threats. Some of the initiatives that are already being taken up as a continued activities are identification of critical information infrastructure. As of now, more than 20 financial institutions across BFSI sector have been identified. This functions as a kind of deterrence against the ulterior motive of the cyber criminals. Offline and online and off-site cyber security inspections by C-side team of RBI, regular cyber security deals, cyber security audit conducted by certain MPanel auditors, putting in place appropriate response, incident response protocol. This inter alia includes the cyber security management plan from the financial institutions such as banks, setting up of SOC, NOC, ROC. These initiatives have significantly enhanced the cyber resilience of our digital ecosystem. Additionally, there are certain measures putting in place, for instance, device banding, additional factor authentication such as OTP, card tokenizations. These have given comforts to the citizens and customers to safely come on board on the digital payment ecosystem. Besides these initiatives, there are a couple of other initiatives taken by our financial sector regulators with their counterpart agencies throughout the globe. All these institutions are in a way actually connecting the weaknesses, the vulnerabilities that may actually give an opportunity for the cyber criminals. In the last more than 2 years, looking at the financial institutions, be it insurance or financial sectors, from the operational side, and also being as an member in the governance framework, part of the board, I feel that there are a lot of initiatives being taken by institutions at the enterprise level, but this is an enemy which is actually invincible, faceless. Therefore, taking initiative in isolations won't adequate to actually prevent this kind of frauds. We need integrated approach, integrated institutional mechanism, not only within the country but also global cyber alliance kind of a framework. Because at times when you feel that these threats are being actually originated from outside the wall, but you have a lot of legal obligations in terms of investigation and all those. Therefore, having a kind of common understanding among the like-minded countries, like-minded institutional agencies will definitely help in preventing the occurrence of cyber security. Some of the very practical insights which as an individual looking at from the policy side, from the government of India. I am the CISO of DFS. We have a regular CISO forum where DFS and the other financial sector CISOs periodically sits together, discuss the past trends and kind of innovations that have been happening. Some of the observations I want to put out to this audience. These are again very personalized kind of observations, looking at the common understanding of the sector. What I believe is that there is a very continued and fast deployment of technology. Of course, innovations happening very fast and frequently, and then the regulations or the policy frameworks put in place. And this is not only happening today, going forward also it will continue, because innovation will not wait for the policy directions or the regulations, because the entrepreneurs, they will bring out the new concepts, deliver those concepts, and then whenever some incidents or the vulnerabilities plugs, then the regulations and policies actually follow. So the challenge is to actually follow a kind of tandem approach, doing some sort of a global understanding how technology is shaping, what kind of emerging technology are going to come in future, and what are the implications for the BFSI sector will definitely add in shaping the regulations in advance, or policy framework to be put in place in advance. This is one factor. Second, I also feel that unlike the developed jurisdictions, India is a very typical country. We have a heterogeneous society, heterogeneous across the nature of organizations, from very big to very small. Somebody is as big as elephant, somebody as big as small as an ant. We have a heterogeneous population also, people living across metros, semi-urban, rural areas, and while saying so, more and less across the geographies, across the nature of the client, mostly people are onboarding on the digital framework. Therefore, the capacity of the institutions to handle a digital tool, or maybe the capacity and the understanding of a user to safely use a digital tool are limited. And therefore, the cyber criminals or cyber fraudsters are getting advantage of these actually, the gaps. So therefore, there is a great, requirement of creating awareness among the citizens, among the users, as well as creating the capacity building of the the personnel who are actually deploying this kind of digital tools or solutions in discharging or delivering their services. Third, the aspects and the critical element, what I feel is that, if I talk about bank or maybe if insurance companies, the topmost priority for them is to actually, something which is critical or very helpful for them to enhance their business. It's, if it is a bank, like credit, deposit, and all those. Cybersecurity still is considered, perceived to be an auxiliary function or support service. But given the kind of digital exposure, we are not today. We are not digitizing. Actually, we are going towards digital transformations. Actually, it is a architectural based digital framework. Therefore, it is as important as other functions, cyber security. So having said that, it is all the way very important to put adequate attention and investment in research and development, especially cyber security and cyber resilient infrastructure. Then last not the least, we require to adopt a collaborative approach. The government, the industry, the think tank, should come together and prepare a kind of framework where it's need not necessarily eliminate, but of course it will minimize the risks or minimize the exposure. So with that, I once again thanks MIT, CERTIN, and CISA to bring out this report in a timely manner. The report not only captures and insights about the trends, patterns, and the sources of past frauds reported, but also it covers certain cross-border vulnerability use cases. Those would be very much interesting. I would urge all the financial institutions to deep dive the report and get a complete understanding about the changing, cyber threat landscape. With that, I once again thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fukon, for the elaborate and insightful perspectives, plus your advice on how the BFSI sector can stay cyber secure and resilient. Thank you. May I now request all the dignitaries on the stage to please unveil the report. Yes. Thank you all. May I now request the Honorable Secretary, Shri S. Krishnan, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, to share his thoughts and perspectives. So.
Dr. Sanjay Bail, the Director General, Satin, Dr. Abhijit Phukan, Joint Secretary and Economic Advisor in the Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, Shri Darshan Shantamurthy, the founder and CEO of CISA, ladies and gentlemen present here this morning. Today's event is significant for a number of reasons. We are releasing a digital threat report for the banking and financial services sector in the country. And this is important because for a number of reasons. I think first and foremost, we need to recognize, as has already been pointed out, that in many ways, because money is involved, the BFSI sector by very nature is what people in the cybersecurity world describe as a honeypot, where a lot of bees are attracted and a lot of honeybees and others are attracted to try and take advantage of what they can in terms of trying to either, this is in a sense the oldest sort of temptation in the world of trying to take away money from wherever easy money is to be made. Therefore, the risks are great, and the risks are great at an individual level, at a societal level, at an institutional level, and therefore need to be addressed on a priority basis. Equally, I think we should note that what the BFSI sector has done to address cybersecurity concerns is probably way ahead of many other sectors in the Indian economic and cybersecurity context. Clearly, all the regulators in the BFSI sector, whether it is the Reserve Bank of India, whether it is SEBI, whether it is IRDA, whether it is PFRDA, all of them have focused squarely on addressing concerns in the cybersecurity space. They have ensured that cybersecurity audits have been conducted in practically all the institutions on an ongoing and regular basis. Their stance in this space is something which deserves to be emulated by people in other areas. I think this is an important underlying message which even this report contains, and an important underlying message we need to take away from today's event. We would like to hold up the BFSI sector as an exemplar sector as far as what measures have been taken against cybersecurity overall are concerned. The number of attacks are the most, and they are the ones who have most successfully defended, most successfully responded. Many other sectors have to learn from this approach, have to understand how they can apply this approach significantly better. And I think that is what this report, true import today, really is. And why do I say this? Because, generally cybersecurity, both at an institutional level and at an individual level, sometimes is taken a little casually. We assume that nothing will happen. We do not take adequate precautions. There are behavioral issues. Many of us are wont to share our login credentials quite comfortably with anybody. Very often, even machines, computers, and others which are used are not even turned off at the end of a working day. There are very, very elementary mistakes that a lot of people make. They don't even log out of a sensitive account. All of these are vulnerabilities which we lose. And unless we learn all of this at an individual level, it doesn't translate into the kind of vigilance and awareness which you need at an organizational level, at an institutional level, and especially on a sector-wide basis. So which is why I think these events are important to highlight what needs to be done. And therefore, Mr. Fukan also underlined the importance of awareness in this entire space. An important area of work for the Cybersecurity Division in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is actually awareness on cybersecurity. CERTIN, through its website and various other interventions, also works seriously on how we can increase the awareness of cybersecurity. Ministry works through the Data Security Council of India to achieve the same objective. In addition, with CDAC Hyderabad, we have a partnership where we bring out a lot of material. We run a program across different institutions in the country, awareness programs of both kinds, of enhancing the skill in the cybersecurity space, and at the same time ensuring that in the awareness of all of these elements is significantly greater. So I think those messages which we take away of greater vigilance, greater care towards cybersecurity is something which is very critical and something which the BFSI sector has recognized ahead of many of the others. And that is a message which other sectors need to take away in terms of how do you harden structures, how do you audit from a cybersecurity perspective, your systems, your hardware, your networks, and all the software and application software that is used. All of this need to be periodically audited. It applies equally to government entities. It applies to everybody, especially with the Digital Personal Data Protection Act coming into force. Many of us will suddenly find that if we are not careful enough with the data that we keep, and if the data leaks for data breaches, there could be very, very large liabilities and penalties which can be imposed. I don't want to sort of use that as a threat, but that is a reality, that we are not careful enough when we use all of these cybersecurity means, and that is something which is important. Alongside the role that regulators have clearly played in the BFSI sector, I also need to highlight the role that CERTIN has played. CERTIN today, there was talk of trust and why trust is very important in the cybersecurity space. If CERTIN has truly worked in a manner that enhances its credibility as a thoroughly professional technical organization, which everybody in government respects and relies on to make sure that their concerns on cybersecurity are addressed and that somebody is watching their back where it comes to cybersecurity related issues. And I think that role I would truly commend on this occasion. And clearly, government is committed to further strengthening CERTIN as an institution, both in terms of personnel, in terms of resources, in terms of capabilities, and what they need in terms of equipment, because this is a role which will only grow and not diminish. And therefore, this is a space which we will continue to watch. And as the recent amendments to the allocation of business rules in the Government of India, where cybersecurity has been clearly allocated as a subject for MeitY, and the network security and telecom security in particular to the Department of Telecom, and cybercrime to the Ministry of Home Affairs, with an overall coordination role for the National Security Council Secretariat. I think the idea of providing technical guidance in the space and ensuring that technically issues are addressed in the cybersecurity space falls squarely within MeitY's ambit, and we take this role extremely seriously. All our agencies depend on it. All our agencies are periodically reviewed to make sure that we are fulfilling whatever are the assigned roles in each of these agencies, whether it is CERTIN, whether it is NIC, whether it is STQC, whether it is CDAC, or our partnership with DSCI and various other educational institutions whom we support. The other point that I would like to make today is that, cybersecurity has multiple dimensions to it. This report does say a lot of things, but it also doesn't say many things. And that, I think, is important. At one level, it's a very interesting space where we need a public posture, where we need credibility in the public mind, where trust has to be built in the public mind. But at the same time, there are many capabilities. I don't think I would like many of you to know what we know. Equally, I don't think I would like you to know what we don't know either. So it's important that we maintain a posture where there are certain capabilities and capacities that are built up in these organizations, which are best not publicized or best not known, simply because we are dealing with adversaries. We are not in a particularly friendly neighborhood. We are dealing with a range of adversaries, and it's best that it is a bit of a cloak and dagger, cat and mouse game that needs to be played out, and some of that confidentiality and some degree of discretion in the way that capabilities are presented is important. While I want to emphasize that there is constant vigilance, I would not want to sort of advertise every capability or capacity that we have. At the same time, having said that, I think it's important that, again, cybersecurity is a funny world where one part of it is in the shadows, but the other part of it is in full public glare in terms of, or more than even public glare, it needs to be played out in collaboration with a range of institutions. We need to work in collaboration with a lot of private institutions, with private companies and the private sector. Today, in the information technology space, in the digital space, the private sector is a much bigger player than the government itself is in a number of areas, which means that what you see as threats and what you see as your surface of attack is significantly larger than what even government's own surface of attack would be. Of course, the sophistication of the attacks may not be as sophisticated as what a state actor or a state player can put out, but clearly there are a number of attacks that you suffer and a number of issues that you have to protect against. You have developed in the private sector considerable capacities which the government would do well to learn from, which is why we believe that there needs to be a constant process of exchange, a constant process of working with the private sector to figure out where your capacities are, the way in which you can take it forward, and that needs to be a constant interface which happens. In most countries of the world, their organizations similar to CERTIN maintain a public profile and a public posture simply to keep this element of collaboration and cooperation with the public, with the private sector, with private sector entities and others ongoing on a continuous basis. Likewise, with academia and research institutions, we have a continuous collaboration which goes on, and we support a number of programs in that space to make sure that it contributes to what we can do in the cybersecurity space. But lastly, I think I would like to emphasize one aspect. There was talk of Atmanirbharta and cybersecurity. Clearly, I mean, I think if there is one area within the entire gamut of what we do in IT, and everywhere we need to have trusted value chains and trust in where the software is coming from, where the hardware is coming from, where the firmware is coming from, and so on. All that is important. But more than anything else, in the cybersecurity space, having domestic technological and technical capacities is absolutely crucial. This is one space where it is each country, each nation to themselves. Nobody is going to share the most advanced features of whatever cybersecurity defenses they have. Nobody is going to share with you the kind of hidden backdoors and everything else that different types of software could potentially have. So we have to have domestic capabilities, which is one reason why I think both in terms of research and development and in terms of to enable the development of technical and technological capacities, and in terms of promoting domestic cybersecurity oriented startups, particularly in the deep tech space. MeitY has been very keen on working in this space, and we have a number of initiatives where we are promoting startups and research in this area. We've been supporting a range of organizations. We've been also ensuring there have been cases where we've seen a startup doing something good in the cybersecurity space. We have actually bought their product straight away. We have, without hesitation, gone ahead and supported them through procurement. And we have supported them to enable them to grow. We've worked with them closely and used their applications in areas where we feel they would be relevant and important. So in each of these spaces, I think it's important that we build domestic capacity, we support our startups, we support our innovators, because this, I think most of the deep tech space, honestly, is something which is best suited to be disrupted through innovation and through startups, and which is why I think we believe we have an important role in supporting them. So this is broadly, I think, our, in a sense, our approach to the way we are trying to address the cybersecurity question. It's a critical question. As we get more and more digitalized, we cannot rest easy on this. It is a matter of eternal vigilance. This is an area where we have to constantly keep working to keep up with developments across the world. We have to sort of protect ourselves against the newer forms of threat which develop. We have to ensure that it becomes a way of life, ensuring that the basic cybersecurity hygiene factors are constantly something that people follow to ensure that they do not add to the vulnerabilities that we have. There could be some inconveniences to what we had previously, but we have to learn that this is the price we pay, and this is the eternal vigilance that we need to exercise. And I think it's a duty. I mean, it's something that affects each one of us, and something that all of us are duty bound to contribute to. And as a government and as agencies in government, we also have a primary duty to ensure that we stay at the forefront of this technology. We are constantly abreast of what needs to happen in this space, and we work with the appropriate technical organizations and with the technical expertise to address these challenges as and when they come up. In that sense, I think this particular report today, the Digital Threat Report of 2024, is a welcome addition to the literature in this space. It will certainly draw us to the importance of cybersecurity again, and the measures that we need to take, especially in a critical sector like BFSI. And it has come through after vetting by organizations like the Reserve Bank of India and SEBI and others, who are very, very careful in the way that the material is put out. So I would really commend this report, and I would once again commend both CERTIN and CISA for having brought out this report. I believe it is extremely timely, and it will serve as an example not just to cybersecurity as a whole, but what the BFSI sector has achieved, how others can also achieve. This would truly serve as an exemplar. Thank you very much, and thank you again for the patient listening.
Thank you, Mr. Krishnan. Thank you, sir. You certainly called out the underlying message on how the BFSI sector should be the example or the exemplar sector to and become the beacon and show the way for the other sectors. It is truly encouraging and heartening to know how much work has been done from the Ministry of Electronics Information Technology in investing and spreading the awareness among the BFSI sector, but also across the landscape along with certain and the other regulators. Another important aspect that you highlighted was the importance of building trust in the ecosystem, right? And this is something that we as an industry, the cybersecurity industry, needs to be cognizant of. And the importance of collaboration, cooperation, and meaningful exchange between the government and public sectors, along with the private sector, academia, and practitioners. Thank you again, Mr. Krishnan. My heartfelt gratitude to all the dignitaries for being here today and being part of this launch. Truly appreciate your support and participation, sirs. And as a token of our appreciation, I would request our CEO, Darshan Shantamurthy, to felicitate them. Darshan, may I request you to escort the dignitaries to the media room. For the media personnel, you could contact Mr. Ayush Deshpande. Sir. Presentation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your patience. And we have one last session now. We're going to spend another 10-15 minutes. I've got Mr. Mahendran Chandramohan. He's the head and vice president of CISA's Managed Extended Detection Response Business Unit. And we also have Ranju Varghese, who heads CISA's Forensics Business Unit, to give you an overview of the report. This is going to be for about 10 minutes before we break for lunch. Thank you. Over to you, Mahendran. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a true honor to be in front of such an esteemed group of CXOs and industry thought leaders. Today, I would like to offer you a glimpse of our global threat report and what you can expect to learn from it. So before I dive into the specific insights and findings, let me first share how this report came into life. It's a product of joint partnership between CertFin and CISA, backed by comprehensive research and data from variety of credible sources. So our goal is very simple: to give you an action-oriented resource that helps you proactively navigate and stay ahead of today's ever-changing threat landscape. In building this global threat report, we combined 5 critical data streams to ensure both depth and accuracy. 1. CISA DFIR insights, so insights from our own forensic investigations. CERT-FIN and CERT-IN observations from many incidents, that real life incidents. So we have taken all the observations. CISA's compliance maturity insights. So we have done more than 1,500 audits in the last 18 months. So we have taken insights from there as well. And last but not least, our threat intelligence and threat research insights as well has been combined to produce this report. So from drawing from all these sources, the report delivers 5 key outcomes. One, a strategic view of the ever-changing threat landscape, actionable insights from real-world breaches, regulatory guidance to strengthen the security posture, foresight into emerging threats and technologies, and last but not least, practical recommendation for building robust cyber resilience. So let's get started. So 2024 has significantly reshaped the threat landscape. Yeah, so making the dawn of modern cyber warfare. So the trends that we have seen, yeah, so I have listed two trends here, both related to artificial intelligence. The first one, all your traditional attacks that we have been seeing for a very long time. So be it a phishing or a DDoS or just creating an exploit, all these things are changing today, and it has already started changing because of the amplification of AI. So what I'm saying is that your traditional threats are now become very precise and at scale. So that means your phishing emails that you are getting or the phishing attacks that you are getting, it will be very, very difficult for a human to distinguish that it's a spam or a real message that they are getting. When I say scale, so the DDoS attacks or even something as simple as phishing, the scale at which it can reach the people is also significantly amplified because of AI. And last but not least, the exploit. So you have a vulnerability, so you have to create and exploit the vulnerability. So that today happens in no time because of the access to ChatGPT and other models that are currently available. So that's AI is being used for cyber attacks, and at the same time the AI algorithms and AI applications themselves are getting compromised. Poisoning attacks, right? So we already started seeing, if you go to Hugging Face website, so there are already news that some of the open source models which is there may be already compromised. So AI models and algorithms are also getting compromised or manipulated to extract data, valuable information. So these two trends very different. Okay, and we have also seen a lot of supply chain compromises. Today we are in this interconnected ecosystem. So all of us are very deeply connected. So one attack, a supply chain compromise, has a lot of impact downstream. Yeah, so we have seen a lot of those attacks. And last but not least, if you see good old days, we had something called perimeter. Yeah, so there was a perimeter security, there was a data center, you had firewall, switches, routers, everything. So all that was very good. So good old days. Now with cloud and APIs, your identity is the entry point. If you compromise the identity, then you immediately get access to all the resources. Identity is today the most important attack surface. Yeah, so these are some of the trends that we are seeing. You will get more insights in our report. The global threat report highlights 7 real life case studies. I have included 3 use cases, case studies here. The first one is how the API configuration. So in the previous slide I spoke about API configurations or exploiting API configuration. So there is a real life example where exploiting API configurations to manipulate reward systems, causing silent financial leaks is well depicted in our report. The second one is administrative privileges were used by an employee, an insider, to manipulate and withdraw funds undetected for a very, very long time. And last but not least, launching a supply chain ransomware attack where one breach had a ripple impact across multiple organizations and it had stalled their operations. So you will find a lot of insights about these case studies in the report. So we all know compliance doesn't automatically mean security. Yeah. So, but it is critical stepping stone for building a strong security posture. So from more than 1,500 audits that we have completed last year, we have observed control gaps, or rather I would call control improvement opportunities. Yeah. So if you see, data security and encryption of security information remain under implemented. Identity is a new attack surface. I have already spoken about that. Very critical for mitigating both external breaches and internal threats. So something like principle of least privilege, maker checker process, all these things will go a long way. Ineffective patching, infrequent vulnerability assessment and EOL systems continue to be the weakness. Even though we have been talking about this for last 20 years, significantly we have improved, but still this continues to be one major area where we need to provide the focus. Inadequate threat monitoring, we still have gaps in monitoring. If you see, the attacker doesn't differentiate whether it is a test environment or a development environment or a production environment. During our investigations, we have seen attackers staying in a test or a development environment for more than 100 days before reaching the production environment and accomplishing their mission. So covering all the estate is absolutely critical. Last but not least, weak incident response also prolong breaches. So I'm not just talking about a process written on paper. When I say incident response, how we can effectively manage a security incident, not just the process, it's about making sure that you have BCP, you have DER, you're able to restore the systems properly, you know the environment pretty well so that you can contain, so that the threat doesn't reach other parts of the organization. Everything comes to play when it comes to incident response. How many times you have executed it successfully, either during live situations or through simulations, make a big impact. So these issues must be addressed to move beyond just the tick box compliance and achieve true cyber resilience. You will get a lot of insights from the global threat report, which talks a lot about the control improvements that the organizations can take. Now let me hand over to my colleague Renju, who will shed light on the future threats we all should be prepared for. Renju.
Hi, good afternoon all, and thanks Mahendran. So until now we have been discussing on the breaches or the incidents that we have seen, but as you will be aware, the new era of cybersecurity is here. All of you will be in the cybersecurity space, and I'm sure that you have been seeing a new type of attack that's happening. You have been witnessing an unprecedented type of phishing attacks across the organizations. So here, let's like gaze into the crystal ball and see what is or what kind of attacks are we going to anticipate in the future. First one has already happened, is that every intruder is started to use the new LLMs, adversarial LLMs like Worm GPT, Fraud GPT, and DarkMind, which are already available in the dark web to significantly enhance their effectiveness and their efficacy in the breaches. Just like ransomware as a service that we have seen across the years, we are now seeing AI as a service where anyone can use these AI tools to enhance their efficiency in the breaches part. Just look at the uh, type of social engineering attacks is happening, or look at the type of cases in which the citizens are getting into digital arrest. It's all is happening due to the AI as a service platform, where they're able to increase their efficacy and able to democratize the access to these highly complex cyber attacks. The next wave, I'm sure that all of you will be aware or just recall the pager attack which Israel did to the Hezbollah group, right? It was a sophisticated hardware supply chain attack where they were able to attack the supply chain and indulge a plastic explosive in the pager device. Now, just imagine, instead of that particular plastic explosive, if they are able to integrate a small backdoor chip into your IoT PCB board, which is not going to be visible to a naked eye, but will be able to bring a backdoor to your IoT. Whether your IoT device is your printers, firewalls, your CCTV cameras, any kind of interconnected devices within your organizations, if there's a small backdoor chip, it can actually open your entire environment to cyber breaches. And this is not fiction, it's not a movie, it's already happening. At CISA, we have our own hardware security lab, and we have already demonstrated on how a small chip can be put into a small Airtel router or any kind of a router, and it can be given back to any of the e-com chains uh, to to get into that particular network part of it. It's very easy, and these days with multiple supply chains coming in, we don't know where that particular chip is secure or where that particular hardware is secure. So that's a new type of attacks. And let's not overlook the role of cryptocurrency in bringing the anonymity or the anonymity which is empowering the bad actors to access your network. Any kind of ransomware case, it's definitely the cryptocurrency which is being bringing in, and they're bringing that particular or this encouraging the intruders to go with this ransomware part. And it's not just going to be ransomware of encrypting your systems, it's going to be an extortion ransomware of extorting your data and ransoming it out in the dark web part. And finally, not at least, the Q day is coming, right? With the significant breakthrough in the new Majorana one chip by Microsoft, we are going to see that the power of quantum computing is no longer a distant future. However, with quantum computing, it's going to bring a lot of benefit to the humankind. It's going to render the main strength of cybersecurity, the encryption that we have, the current set of RSA encryptions, which is going to be completely rendered vulnerable with this quantum computing comes into the picture. But right, so but not all is not doom and gloom. Our cybersecurity posture as a entire ecosystem has significantly improved over the last years, and we am sure that we can able to withstand and become resilient to most of these attacks. The report do contain mitigation strategies that organizations should follow to ensure that they can do a continuous improvement to improve the cybersecurity posture. It's not that we don't have the security posture, it's just that a little bit of tweaking to improve our cybersecurity posture part of it. And still, cybersecurity still relies on the three pillars. So we definitely need the technology to ensure that we can able to prevent and detect the breach. Technology without process is not the right one. So we need the process to ensure that these technologies are effectively and efficiently being implemented. And finally, the people, your employees, your users, and your team members are still your first line of defense, which we need to ensure that we can empower them to build or improve the cybersecurity posture part of it. The report do provide detailed recommendations, and we encourage you to review the same and share it with your team for their implementation and execution part. Finally, RBI, IRDA, and SEBI are proactively supporting the BFSI sector from a policy and a direction perspective. CERTIN and CERTFIN are helping from a strategic, tactical, and operational perspective. All these entities are working together or working closely to ensure trust, resilience in the BFSI sector to all the stakeholders. We understand that you may have many questions about the report. Both CERTIN and CISA SAPers, that's our forensics team, are willing to do a debriefing sessions to you all, to your organizations or to our various events in the future, to give you a detailed overview about the report and what the detailed overview of each of the case studies, to ensure that we can able to bring in the improve the security posture part. In addition, we are happy to take any questions that you might have in the report over the lunch. And with that, let's work together to build a digital secure society one step at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahindran. Thank you, Ranju. This brings us to the close of the event. I again thank all the distinguished leaders from the government and industry, esteemed members of the media, and my colleagues from CISA for taking time off. I know it's a Monday, everyone's got busy schedules, and being here today for this event. Please do stay back for lunch and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you very much.